viewers. Hope you would be fine. In this short video, we would be talking about the Scarlet Letter. In this video, we would be talking about just the general introduction and some sort of the summary of the Scarlet Letter. In our next video, we would be discussing about the symbols, themes, and the motives of the novel. Basically, this story and the story of this novels opens on a custom house in the Salim, which is located in the Massachusetts in America. So a surveyor, the narrator of this story is nameless, and he was a surveyor at that custom house, and during his surveys he finds a piece of cloth on which the word A was alphabetical word A was written. A stands for many in this novel. For first, it stands for adultery, and later on, it stands for the ability. The meaning of these words keeps on shifting from adultery to the ability, means when one is able to prove one's own potential as well and the ability as well. So we would be talking in detail on the word manuscript shape A as well. The symbol A is central to the whole play novel. So the story begins that uh, for example, this narrator considers writes a story of her own, which lies more in the 1640s and the 1650s, which was 200 years before when that surveyor find this scarlet letter encrypted or embroidered on that piece of the cloth, which he finds in during his surveys. So he narrates the story that it has been some 200 years ago. There are, for example, important three characters in this novel we should have to keep in mind. One is that Hester Prynne, the other is the Chillingworth, who is the former husband of Hester Prynne, and the other one, the important character, is the Dempsdale, who is the father, a missionary father, and at the same time he is also the equal crime partner or an adulterer, because he has an illicit, illegal sexual relationship with that of the Hester Prynne in the absence of his uh, her husband Chillingworth. The story opens like that. Hester, that Chillingworth was the husband, or like a family, means Hester Prynne and the Chillingworth were husband and wife. But Chillingworth sends his wife to America, and with this promise that he would be approaching the soon to means he would be going soon join to Hester Prynne in America. But unfortunately, he lost in that ship's journey and could not reach to the America and could not join to the Hester Prynne according to his promise. Hester Prynne for 2 years keeps on waiting for her husband, but when she came to realize that after if that man has not reached after 2 years, now it is the possibility that he has might lost in that travelage and that travel. So she develops an illicit relationship. Now, here is a question that who develops the illicit relationship? Whether Hester Prynne is the responsible for that illicit relationship, or that father Dempsdale is responsible for the development of that illicit relationship. Here comes that the nature of the man. Man is biologically the slave of the instincts. She was a biological a creature. She was having her biological instincts. So instincts are more powerful than our customs. uh, Damsdale, though he was a preacher, though he was a very father of a missionary father, but to some extent he was also the human and the product of those instincts. So as a result of this illicit relationship between the Hester and them's tale, the birth of the child, uh, Pearl, is happens, and the whole society regards Hester Prynne as responsible for her this illicit relationship, and they charge him into punishment, and she is basically time and off is called on that scaffold, mean where the public, it was some sort of the court like, where the whole public comes to listen her that trial, that and the trial, basically that court was focused on to know the name of that lover, the name of that man, who has been the father of, are supposed to be the father of this Pearl. Pearl was a very beautiful girl. She was very close to the nature, and she was very beautiful. Even she used to play in the nature as well, because he was more or less the child of the nature as well. Some critics call her as a child of the nature. Nature mean instinct as well, like this. So but she is determined that she would not be going to reveal the name of her lover. Means Hester Prynne is very defined that she is not going to reveal the identity of her lover. So in that court, her husband Chillingworth was also standing. When she just reached on the scaffold, then the out of those onlookers, her husband Chillingworth, who has changed his name and is living in that community uh, as a medicine practitioner, he was very much involved in the study of that herbs and that use of the herbs as the medicine. So he was more or less a medicine doctor, and he was too too much engaged in his profession. So he was also the older than the Hester Prynne as well. Means he was not more interested in that sexual instinct of a husband and wife, uh, but he was more interested in the medicine. So he asked the question to the Hester Prynne that who is the lover or from whom you have born this baby, but she does not reveal in front, even to that Chillingworth as well, even to the journal audience as well, even to the court, she does not reveal that who is the real father of this child. So they keep on moving from here to there, but meanwhile, when Hester Prynne meets to that her husband, her father, sorry, her lover, Dempsdale, she assures her that don't worry, I'm not going to reveal your identity. But meanwhile, sin or crime has always a perk on the conscience of the man. Meanwhile, she assures that I'm not going to reveal, but that Dempsey from her inner self, from her conscience, feels the shame of and the guilt of that sin. And meanwhile, he fell ill due to that shame and the perk of the conscience. Meanwhile, Hester Prynne joins to her husband Chillingworth, and she says that uh, uh, you are going to tease my husband. Meanwhile, some people advises that Dempsdale to that this uh, Chillingworth is a great medical practitioner. You should have to join him for your illness. So Damsdale was also in the Chillingworth was also in search of an opinion that there might be some responsibility between this work. During this trial court, uh, that court was going to separate that Pearl and Hester Prynne, that as Hester Prynne was an adulteress and as a responsibility of that child, the state or the court officials considered that now the mother and the Pearl, they mean the daughter Pearl, should not live together as her mother is adulteress. So how an adulteress can raise a child and can make her marriages and control her life. So Dempsey basically comes in front and says that okay, you are not supposed to, and by his own political religious pressure, he waves off this sanctity condition that mother and daughter should not live separately, but they should live together. So he influences the court as well. Means Dempsey influences the court. When Chillingworth comes to know that Dempsey is going to affect the decision of the court, he considers that there is something problematic between the Hester Prynne and this Dempsey. So he, as a medical advisor, also become very close to that Dempsey. And one day when the Dempsey was sleeping, uh, and he always question psychological question that there might be some happening, that there might be some sin which is the cause of your this ail and the illness. But one day when Dempsey was sleeping, he opens his shirt button, and there on his chest he see a letter which was written as A. A stands for adultery, adulteress, adulterer. The same letter was holding or was in the neck of that uh, Hester Prynne as well. From this suspicion or the similarity, he comes to realize that Damsdales might be the potential adulterer or the illicit sexual partner of the Hester Prynne. So he keeps on torturing him mentally. Uh, Meanwhile, uh, Hester Prynne joins Dempsey, and she says that we should have to plan a elope from here. We should leave this Boston, and we should move to the Europe for a healthy and happy life. And they plan as well. They book God book the ship as well. But when Chillingworth came to know that they are going to elope from this country, he also get booked on the same ship. But meanwhile, before the ship set on sail, and when they are about to leave that country, suddenly that Dempsey sees that Hester Prynne is in front of the court and she's standing on the scaffold. Suddenly comes and reveals that I am the adulterer of this crime. I am also the equally responsible and adulterer as is the uh, Hester Prynne. While Hester Prynne was assured, Hester Prynne was determined that I should be punished for this crime, not the Damsdale should be punished. While Damsdale considered that I also should be equally punished as I am the adulterer, as equal crime partner for the birth of this pearl. Therefore, he reveals in front of the public, and on that scaffold, during that uh, confession, he falls and dies as well. And uh, after that, Hester Prynne and Pearl moves to the Europe. There, the Pearl is get married, and that Hester Prynne moves back to the Boston, where Dempsey was buried, and on the grave of that uh, Dempsey, there was written the word A, means adulterer. She's also died over there, and she's also buried over there. And on the grave of the boats, there was written the word A, means as the adulterers. So this is the short, basically the summary and introduction or overview of this novel. Uh, in our next video, we would be talking about the symbols of this novel. With this, goodbye.